All right. Hey, good morning. Wednesday, good to be back. Talking through another week of healthy routines. This week, trying to talk through, similar to last week, just things that get in the way of healthy routines or kind of are threats to healthy routines or to our life if we don't have one, and kind of settled on this issue of regret. It certainly is something that shows up in the counseling office a lot. And so trying to share that in a different way this week, talking of three different things that I think will help prevent regret in routines that have some gaps. So we'll kind of talk through that this week on and shift next week to really a lot of benefits of routines. Monday was really addressing three things. First, accountability, right? The more we talk about a routine with people who care about us and we let them know what's going on, then they help us stay on track because they give us feedback and they have a chance to do things like review our routine if you want that kind of help. Just to say, hey, do you think this is balanced? Am I addressing all the right things? So it might be a good effort and activity to make this week is just to think through your fall schedule or this new school year schedule you're trying to do and ask someone, do you think I'm including the right things? I want everyone to be really intentional to schedule time for their mental health. Now, what does that look like? It's subjective to everybody, whether that's I have counseling regularly or it's I have periods of rest or periods where I don't schedule something to do, so I have plenty of gaps to be successful. The second thing I talked about on Monday was just this adaptability piece, right? Routines have to have some kind of flexibility if it's not working to modify it. Too often people stick with a routine and keep going and they kind of drive it into the ground, and it's this kind of difficulty of either accepting like this isn't working or remember that feedback I want you to get. It's been hard to receive it or you haven't had it. So routines struggle. And that's important to be able to do. And then appropriate timelines, right? If you have a routine and you're trying to get too much done or too quickly or it's not balanced well, then it's going to cause a problem. So be sure to get that feedback of how it goes forward. And I think it'll be more successful as you set those routines this year. But in regards to the impact of regret, it's a serious thing. So I wanted to spend this morning just talking about through different aspects of it as it goes forward. Simply said, I think I gave a definition of my own, but I came across an article that really defined it well about two ways that regret shows up in our life. So I'll have that posted later today or tomorrow. This defines it as regret comes from two things, right? Actions or inactions. The first one is we can regret the things we did, right? That's the action based, or we can regret the things we did not do, which is the inaction based. So this article cites, just as their kickoff example, the author's friend who was at the University of Virginia had an opportunity to join, or he was with IBM and he had an opportunity to join this new company that was starting. He chose not to. The new company was Microsoft. And so, he's got regret of, it's a little bit of both, perhaps. He didn't do it, so it's inaction. And so the author talks about this, just to remind us that regret is difficult because it includes other emotions that are tied to it. Emotions that are probably consuming and difficult, ones like remorse, sorrow, and helplessness. Those are hard to shake, hard to deal with. Regret can increase our stress, negatively impact our health, and harm the balance of hormones and immune systems. But here's the thing to keep in mind. Action related regrets are probably the ones that are easier to deal with because we have the opportunity to learn from our mistakes and move on. So if you have to make a choice when it comes down to an issue of should I do it or should I not, this article is saying, I might even agree with, like, lean toward trying something because at least you have that ability. The challenge with the path of inaction, it just really is this kind of hanging longing of what could have been. That's hard to shake because it can lead to depression, anxiety, a sense of stuckness, and it's hard to create that opportunity again. So if you have a choice, I might lean toward give something a shot because you might be able to learn something from it rather than just sit and wonder. So it brings us to some questions this morning related to that. What aspects of regret have you seen more impactful on someone you know, whether it's the action or inaction? When you think through people you care about or people you've come across, maybe you know someone that had that choice of, gee, do I stay with IBM or do I go with this Microsoft company that's starting? But action or inaction, which one have you seen be more impactful to someone you care about, or even uh, yourself, perhaps? Which one would you rather do? Action or inaction? Any examples that come to mind? The action? Yeah, yeah. I mean, in context of routines that we're talking about, part of me is saying then go ahead and aim for some of those higher goals. I think if you have a choice when it comes into the things we talk about in the gym, to answer this one, I'd say aim for the goals that you want to have. And even if you fall short, there might be a risk of some regret in there. But to then think, well, I didn't even try this year, or I didn't try and take that on, it comes into being, right? These are all like short term aspects we're talking about. Many times in counseling, regret is more lifelong, or we start measuring in 5 or 10 year increments. So really, even talking about it this week, it's going to be a little bit easier to deal with regret because we're dealing with months or a school year. But there's probably application points just to recognize if you're dealing with any of this action or inaction, be willing to aim a little bit higher than you would think. Follow-up question, what do you think would help in your routine not to have any blind spots in your routine as you set it up this month? Thinking of accountability, adaptability, and appropriate timelines. What's going to help you not have any areas in your routine that can lead to regret? What are you going to be able to do in that routine to make it smoother and better? Hmm. That's good. Yeah, being realistic or honest with yourself, what your capabilities are. Any other things you think that will help make a routine more successful beyond the three I mentioned? Kind of building off of what Katrina said, like leaving space in the routine for there to be movement. Something comes up and you're scheduled to book. You think you have to say no or whatever, fine it. But if you could just move some things around, yeah, you probably still get all the things done and the thing you want to do, so you don't have that regret. That's a good one, Jess. Yeah, gaps, margin, leaving a little time that's extra. We'll talk more about that in the next few weeks too. It's um, a good reality. Those are good suggestions. The other one I would um, be able to mention is just the opportunity to look at it regularly. Maybe you have a 30-day or every 2 weeks where you're just taking an honest look about how things are going. 2 weeks might be a little fast for you, so just once a month to be able to get together with that person who you talked with initially, just to be able to have it that way. So that accountability is built into your schedule as a regular thing, not just a one and done. So a good one to keep in mind. So some final comments just about the impact of regret. Maybe you've seen this in people you care about, but I think regret is such a severe enemy because it really does have this potential to kill passions that people have. If they've tried for something or they've been aiming for it and it didn't work, again, whether it's the action aspect or inaction aspect, when they feel that sense of failure and regret and they're not dealing with it and that sorrow and helplessness is growing, it does kind of balance out and almost zero out that idea of passion for life or passion for an interest or passion for people. So it is something to take seriously. If you're looking to impact other people who are dealing with regret, three suggestions I'd have is help them be familiar with words like forgiveness and grace, right? To remind them that they're not defined by their failures or that regret that exists, and offer them constant support. Just a willingness to be able to get together with them. Maybe you're that accountability person. Maybe you're the one that's reminding them that they can shift that timeline. They can do some things different. But just your voice, your presence might balance out some of those negative thoughts and emotions. And then finally, recognize that when it comes to things like wellness, right, those core foundations around here at the gym and what Bill and I are doing really is a good layer of that is to try and avoid regret. that people don't just settle for something and then have that regret from inaction. Gee, I wish I would have done something about this ongoing pain, whether that's physical or emotional or mental. It is a real tenet of why we exist and what we're trying to do. So inaction regret is something that definitely everyone who's coming to the gym has a chance to work on, because they're here, they're being active, they're listening to me, they're listening to all of you, they're working through a lot of things. So really, I just wanted to finish and commend everybody for being present and listening to it, because your activities, coming to the gym and doing everything else related to it, is a way to reduce regret, because you're actively participating in making sure that there aren't gaps in your life or your routine. So as I said, we have talked about these obstacles, and now we have 2 weeks left to be able to shift to the benefits of routine. There'll be some ways to be able to do that. As a reminder, for next week, I'll probably be here for the 15 minutes, and then I have one last college visit to do. So 6, 9, noon, and 6 will all have to watch me on video. But I'll be here early enough to talk to you guys and get that done. So have a good workout today and a good rest of your week. Thanks.